A vast majority of you may or may not know that Mac Minis have Bluetooth capabilities. If you don't know what a Mac Mini is, it is this machine right here. It is a miniature Mac. It comes with something I just learned. It has a built-in speaker, a mono speaker, that is pretty soft, but it'll do if you're close up like you're supposed to be. And with the Bluetooth capabilities that Mac Minis have, I was wondering, can I connect like Bluetooth controllers to this thing and play games with it? And some of you are saying, wait, you can game on a Mac? That's terrible. Well, let me just open your eyes a little bit. You can use a lot of emulators legally with your own dumped ROMs, like I do, on Macs using this program called OpenEmu. Yes, OpenEmu. It is a whole bunch of emulators built into one, and I only personally use the ones that I legally own games to and that I legally own, console-wise. Sometimes you want to record stuff and you don't want to get a splitter. So I took it upon myself to take advantage of Black Friday and buy a brand new PlayStation 4 controller. Now, why would I buy a PlayStation 4 controller? Well, honestly, they have Bluetooth. Xbox One controllers do not. And you have to buy a special adapter with Xbox One controllers to get them to work with a PC. Unless you use the drivers and you use the Android cable, then you don't have to really worry too much about that. And obviously, PlayStation 4 controllers are anywhere between $50 to $60, depending on where you're from, taxes, and things like that. Black Friday, they were $38 at GameStop, and at Walmart, they were $39.99. And that $1.99 was a big deal to me, so I got it from GameStop. And this guy said it's the newer model. The only thing new that I kind of see about it are small details. I don't know if it has the light beam. There's some that have the light beam at the top, but to my eyes, it looks almost the exact same. A few minor details, and I just wanted to see, since you usually can't use Mac and Windows programs, usually don't go together, and I tried my Xbox One, using even Xbox One to Mac program, it still did not work. So I'm going to hopefully pray to God that this PlayStation 4 controller works, because it is Bluetooth. I asked the guy, I know most PlayStation 4 controllers are Bluetooth, but he said this is the newer model, so I'm like, oh, and then it says Wi-Fi on the box, and I'm like, oh shit, is this one, it's a new model like Wi-Fi? Because if it is, I'm screwed. It will not work. But if it's the Bluetooth model, the original PlayStation 4 controller, it'll have Bluetooth, and you should, in theory, be able to use PlayStation 4 controller on a Mac or Mac Mini that has Bluetooth capabilities. So, got my blade. I'm going to try and keep this as clean as possible, because GameStop makes it a living hell to do returns, at least the ones that I've gone to. Not only online are they the most loved game store in America, they are also the most easy to return things to. No, not really. This one has some dirt on it. That's always a nice sign. Altogether, with tax in Indiana, it was like $43. So I was pretty happy. If you've never seen a PlayStation 4 controller, here it is. It is beautiful. I was very skeptical about the PlayStation 4. I love the controller. It's a big step up from the PS3 controller. Like, in my opinion, it's a really big step up. And I've never owned, oh my god, it smells so good, a brand new PlayStation 4 controller. I wanted to get a used one, but they were selling used for $40 at GameStop and new for $38. Makes no sense. They use a standard Android charging port. This one does feel a little bit different. It really does feel just a little bit different. I like the feeling of it. So, it's test time. It is test time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to open up my Bluetooth functionality on my Mac Mini. Okay. Now I gotta redo that. You're gonna go to System Preferences. I know my screen's really bright now on my phone. I'm using my phone instead of my DSLR. From System Preferences, you're gonna look for Bluetooth. It's around the middle. Right there usually, where I just clicked. And I believe if this is charged at all, God, it smells so good. It feels so awesome. If this is charged at all, I believe you hold the home button and the share button and it goes into discovery mode. Yep, wireless controller. I don't know if you see that, but it says wireless controller right there on the very bottom where the mouse cursor is next to. That is awesome. And hit connect, and your PS4 controller will flash like that. Well, I got it a little late, but it'll be solid like that. And it looks like it says connected. Here's what's going to happen. I don't have that many PlayStation 1 games that I actually own. So, don't insult my collection. Don't be like, oh, dude, you got a terrible-ass collection. You got terrible taste in PlayStation. Like I said, I only use the ones that I actually own, and it's not that many. Because I don't want to get into legal trouble with Sony and stuff. I actually really do, I do respect Sony. I'm in the middle of updating something, too. Okay. From here, I'm going to go to my OpenEMU location, which is my downloads folder, and OpenEMU.app. It's loading up. It's going to take a while. PlayStation 4 controller is still connected. That's awesome. For those of you that are curious, it's Brave Fencer Musashi is a game I own. College Slam, an amazing game for the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and the PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn one's my favorite, but the PlayStation 1 is not too far behind. And then I got Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is what I own also, and Medieval. I own these 4 games, and I used to own more when I was younger, but not anymore. So a game that usually doesn't get copyrighted is... Well, Medieval usually doesn't. I'm going to go with the safe route and go with Crash Bandicoot. And it'll ask if I want to continue playing from where I left off. I will click yes. And it popped up. You go to Edit Controls, and then it'll say Input. And then it'll pop up as Sony PS4 DualShock right there. I don't know if you can see the message. It's hard to read, I know. You click that, and it automatically maps every single button for you, it appears. Yep, it maps every single button the exact way it would be on a PS4, I think. So, it's time to test it out. Yep. Proof. And this one is one that has a light stream in the middle. But yep, it's working so far. I'm going to hit Restart Trial so we can actually see it in motion. Let me turn that music down so I don't get copyright strike. It's weird having a brand new controller because I normally never get consoles new anymore. So it's really weird how tight the controls are. Oh my god. I feel like I am playing on a PlayStation 1. Even though it's a PlayStation 4 controller. Like, it feels exactly like a PlayStation 1. That's just, and hang triangle. Yep, triangle works. Square works. Circle works. X works. Start. I don't think select does anything. No, it doesn't. Yep, crawl button works, which is R1. Yep. Wow. It all works. Every single thing works. So I would definitely recommend using a PS4 controller, Bluetooth edition, which is most of them, if they're not wired, on a Mac Mini. And see, look at how well it runs. That's why people that laugh say you can't use emulators or run games on a Mac, blah, 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 and get good FPS. I'm doing it on a Mac Mini. It's not even an iMac. And 4 gigabytes of of RAM, old RAM at I think this one is 1,330, not 1,033, sorry, 1,033 millihertz RAM, which is really low speed. The common one is like 1,660 or something like that. I'm using 1,033 Samsung RAM and a 7,200 RPM Western Digital Drive hard drive on my i7 2.7 gigahertz Mac Mini. Definitely recommend it. This is just awesome. It is giving a PS4 controller a new purpose.